Hey everybody, how you doing? Just to let you all know, there's a video coming out today at 2 o'clock. It's about Nigel Farage. Apparently a documentary team has been following Nigel Farage about for months, and they've had proper access to him. They've been interviewing him and stuff like that. They've got a real feel for what Nigel Farage is about. Not the person not the persona that he puts on for the cameras or anything like that. The true Nigel Farage, the person behind the image. And this guy, this documentary guy, he found out some really interesting things, and he reveals all. And I think you'll all find it interesting. So watch that video at 2 o'clock. I think you'll find it very interesting. Right, the meat of this video. Bob Vylan. I think yesterday was the ultimate fuck around and find out moment for that guy, really, wasn't it? You know, he went on stage at Glastonbury. He basically insulted the entire country with his remarks. You know, the lyrics of, you know, you want your country back, you're not getting it back, and he was doing the whole crying thing. And then, you know, he's entitled to do that. It's free speech and all that and everything. Good luck to him. But he thought that he and his opinion, like all these other nut jobs, they thought that this opinion was the majority opinion of people of this country. He didn't realise that Glastonbury is just a giant echo chamber of far left lunacy. He thought that what the response he was getting to his act on stage was the majority opinion of people in this country. And oh boy, was he mistaken. He's absolutely lost everything. He was supposed to be doing an American tour. Well, the US State Department has revoked his visa even before he's applied for it. His record company has dropped him. His management team have dropped him. Like I said, this is the ultimate fuck around and find out moment. And this is what all these far left lunatics think, because they're all in echo chambers. They believe that their opinion is the majority opinion of the country because they're never exposed to any opposed opinion, so to challenge what they're saying. If they were, they would realise that, yeah, not a good majority of people don't think the same way you think, and they would probably be forced to reevaluate their position. But they never are, because censorship is the friend of the far left, because their arguments cannot stand without censorship. That's why the government has come down so heavily on free speech, because if people were truly allowed to question everything thoroughly, what the government and the far left were all about, they wouldn't stand. They simply couldn't stand, and they would be out of office within weeks. That's why they always go for censorship. That's why the far left always go the censorship route, because they can't stand in a marketplace of free ideas. That's why they wanted censorship on Twitter. That's why you've got Yvette Cooper and her cronies that went to YouTube to lobby the YouTube leadership, the owners of YouTube, to ban Tommy Robinson from YouTube, to deplatform him, because they can't stand the scrutiny that he and others bring to the table. And that should tell you everything about these people. It really should. If you need censorship for your arguments to stand, then they're worthless. And let's get one thing straight, right? I've listened to some more of, unfortunately I did it so you guys didn't have to, of Bob Vylan's so-called music. Now, me personally, I think rap music is the worst genre of music ever invented. I hate the stuff. I cannot stand rap music. I think it's shite. I think it's overrated. I really do. And that's my personal opinion. But when you look at Bob Vylan's music, you realise that it's scraping the barrel of rap music. If you look at it objectively, he's just a guy, he's just a left-wing activist saying the usual buzzwords to music. That's all he is. He's a 2D character. He's a cartoon character of the far left. That's all he is. And the only reason he gets a massive response from the far left is because he's political. If he wasn't political and he was doing non-political songs, you wouldn't even have heard about Bob Vylan. This guy, if he wasn't political, couldn't even make the reject list of the X Factor. That's the society we now live in, though, because we celebrate the mediocre. And you know, I've seen a lot of TikTok. I've been on TikTok. I've watched some great people, some great musicians, and they've got barely any followers or views. Some great people on TikTok, musicians, and you think, why aren't they celebrated? And then you see other users on TikTok, you know, people that can shoot fucking ping pong balls out their arse and stuff like that. Millions of views, millions of followers. We've become dumbed down as a society. We celebrate the mediocre now as being something special. And that's what's allowed the far left to rise to the status that it is. They're all mediocre. They're all mediocre. They don't say anything of value. They're just mindless automatons that just repeat like parrots what they've been told to say by certain people, by what they've read in the Guardian newspaper, from what they see from online. That's all they do. They can't form an informed opinion themselves. They've got to be told what to think. And that's the issue. Anyway, I've rambled and ranted enough. This is Vindicator, signing off.